Hello there, my friends. I hope you are doing well. Today, I'm going to be reviewing X-Men 97. Please forgive me for being vague with these descriptions. I just know that I'm generally spoiler sensitive, and I don't want to ruin someone else's watching experience by blabbering nonsense on YouTube. But there will be serious spoilery stuff in this time range on screen, and I'll remind you when we're getting close to it as well. Now, in many ways, this is a direct continuation of the original X-Men, the animated series. It has the same characters, the same continuity, and the same cast. No crazy reboots or shenanigans. The new show picks up where the old show left off, without trying to shoehorn it into the MCU, despite what Disney Plus has to say about it. However, this new season demonstrates that X-Men 97 is not the same show as it used to be. And for those of you who, like me, are wary of changes, don't worry, it's okay. 97 is still great, but they decided to sorta up the ante with several aspects of the show. For one, it's a little more adult-oriented. It's still appropriate to watch though. There's a good deal of swearing as the series goes on, but nothing you wouldn't hear from your standard PG-13 flick. There is some implied stuffs going on with certain characters, which, full disclosure, is always my least favorite part of any movie or show, because it really only serves to create unnecessary drama and annoying stuff like that. But fortunately, as I said before, it's all implied through conversation or goofy cutaways, so there's no nudity. And the decision to make the show more for adults makes sense. The people who grew up with this are now full-blown adults with jobs and taxes and responsibilities and all sorts of stuff I've got to figure out how to deal with. So now the audience is generally okay with this change because they've grown up. Now our heroes bleed, and we can handle it. There are some much darker subjects in this show than previously in the animated series, and I think that's okay. It was mostly handled carefully and properly, and it's interesting to see how these characters react to these changes. But with all that out of the way, it's time for me to cover the content of the show itself. Is it just as good as the classic show? Absolutely yes. The story is just like something that would happen in the original. The X-Men still find themselves seeking acceptance in a world that's afraid of them. And it doesn't help that they have to consistently fight for their own rights and their own lives. They clash up against classic villains from the past, such as the Sentinels and Mr. Sinister, but they also introduce one heck of a new threat. There are some wild twists which honestly left me amazed, devastated, and excited for more. It isn't too much of a spoiler to say Disney is putting out another season of the show, so of course they had to leave us on a bit of a cliffhanger. So the story is great, but what about the action? Also very nice. The updated animation definitely helps make these scenes come alive. They can truly show just how powerful these characters are, and it leads to some insanely awesome moments. Alright, finally I'm getting into the specifics. This is your last chance to back out before I tell you the one thing I've really wanted to say this whole time. And that is, what's with the disrespect for Gambit? He and Rogue were great, and then they decided to shoehorn in this stupid romance from the comics with her and Magneto. And it's super dumb because never once do they even remotely reference their relationship in the old show. It's also super creepy because it wasn't part of the old show. Also Magneto, but even with that age difference, they already had a good romance going. I mean, come on, Rogue. Some things indeed are deeper than skin, and it just makes sense for her to revert back to that. And if she really loved Remy, she wouldn't have to have a Rogue accepted that way back when she was trying to get rid of her powers. Keep him instead. Gambit straight up dies. The fact that they made me care about this means the show is well written, and I have to acknowledge that. He'll probably come back as a bad guy anyway, so I guess I can't be too upset about it. Stupid romance drama aside, I do have a few other nitpicks. Scott being a drama queen about his clone wife stuff was a little weird for me. I'm not sure I like it that much, but I don't know. I guess it didn't matter since they kind of killed off the clone anyways. Also, I don't like that they sidelined Logan when he was consistently a big part of the classic show, and he's also like everyone's favorite mutant, and I get that you want to highlight the adventures of other characters, and that's the whole point of the show, but like, they could have at least had him do something, because the only things he ever really did was he stabbed stuff, and then he tried to kill Magneto, and you really should have, because that's a whole other thing I'm mad about too. How can Magneto just take getting stabbed in the chest or the torso and then just be fine after that? Like, he's completely fine. And then nobody's questioning that. Like, that should have killed him. Am I the only one who thinks that's weird? Also, that's not the only time where he should have died in this show alone. He should have been vaporized like those Morlocks, like that one kid, Leech. He just straight up dies, he gets vaporized, and Magneto should have too, because he was with him in the weird force field thing. So how come he didn't die? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. How come Magneto gets all the plot armor, but Gambit can't? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Those nitpicks aside, I really do love this show, and I think it's an amazing way to bring back this classic series. I think I can give X-Men 97 an arbitrary 8.9375 out of 10. Please let me know what you think about X-Men 97, or the old show for that matter. Honestly, I had a great time binging through the animated series earlier this year. So let's get some conversation going about the classic show. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. And according to this graph, most of you aren't subscribed. Do whatever you want with that information. And really, thank you so much for choosing to watch me, of all people. And I appreciate you, especially you who have listened all the way to the end of this video. Really appreciate it. Until next time, take care. Also, Spider-Man was there. That was really cool. That was really cool. He didn't get any lines, but I don't know.